Each year, the city of Nanaimo builds at a budget that keeps our community thriving. Behind the scenes is a careful balancing act, funding day-to-day operations, allocating for parks and road maintenance, supporting programs, and planning for future infrastructure improvements. Without a proper budget, roads would deteriorate, pipes would leak, our drinking water could be at risk, and parks like Westwood Lake here wouldn't be such amazing destinations. Safety, quality of life, and the Nanaimo we all love depend on the city's budgeting process. Smart planning today builds a stronger Nanaimo for tomorrow. And we're here with Phil Stewart, the City of Nanaimo's Manager of Engineering Projects. We're standing on the corner of East Wellington Road and Madsen Road talking about infrastructure improvements. Phil, tell me all about it.
Yeah, so this project is a signal upgrade at East Wellington and Madsen, and kind of one of the things that we do is we try to combine projects into one project. So in addition to the signal, which was the start of the project, we've added active transportation trail connections between the water supply trail down to some of the other active transportation links that we had over the last couple of years, and then also the signal at East Wellington and Bowen Road is up for renewal. So instead of doing them all as separate projects, we combine them into one project, a lot more efficient, and it's also cuts down on the time of the contractors here working and interrupting everybody's commute.
So what does the green crosswalk mean?
This is conflict paint, and it helps drivers be aware that there could be pedestrians or cyclists crossing in front of them.
And we're here with Jamie Roser, Manager of Transportation for the City of Nanaimo. I'd like to know a little bit more about active transportation. What does the city do for that?
So the City of Nanaimo is using active transportation as sort of growth strategy for its transportation system. And so what we're doing with that is finding ways to make it safer, more comfortable, and more appealing for people to walk, bike, or take transit. And so whether we're building more sidewalks, bike lanes, or trying to find ways to improve our transit facilities, these are all parts that get incorporated into our capital projects to support the community moving to and from their daily needs.
We're here with the City of Nanaimo Mayor Leonard Krogh. Mr. Mayor, nice to see you as always. Let's talk a little bit about infrastructure. Growing cities, it's necessary, isn't it?
Look, amenities are what attract people to communities. If you have a really first-rate park system, if you have an artificial turf field that people can play on year-round, like at Harewood where we are today, if you have running trails, if you have biking paths, if you have skating rinks and arenas and pools, all of those things enhance the attractiveness of this city, provide the kind of amenities people want, and they'll allow us to attract the kind of professionals and people we need to keep our economy growing and our community prospering.
I love that sign. Tell me a little bit more about it.
The Civic Arena sign was part of the Civic Arena, which we carried forward to the Ice Center for when we opened it just after we closed the Civic. The benches as well are nostalgia and a big part of our Nanaimo history.
Nice. We're here with Darcy Osborne, our Director of Parks, Recreation and Culture for the City of Nanaimo. So Darcy, programming obviously would support facilities infrastructure, correct?
Absolutely, yes. As a matter of fact, our facilities are extremely busy in the City of Nanaimo. We saw 1.1 million visitors alone to the Nanaimo Aquatic Center. We had about $2.8 million in program revenue in 2024 and saw over 10,000 registrations. And what's unique about that is that with our program registrations, we actually have a 20% facility development fund. And we take 20% off the top of all of our program registrations and put that into a reserve that will help with facility infrastructure renewal and upkeep and potentially new facilities.
And it must cost to upkeep these buildings.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of upkeep that is required to keep facilities operating, a lot of mechanical and infrastructure that we have to maintain. For example, you're going to see this coming year that we'll be redoing the roof at the Frank Crane Arena and Social Center in Bevan Park Plaza. And we probably want to note that Frank Crane Arena is turning 50 years on January 3rd.
Wow, well happy birthday, right?
Yeah.
We're here with Carrie Ng, the Director of Information Technology and GIS with the City of Nanaimo. Carrie, let's talk about the importance of capital projects and what that means for the City of Nanaimo. What are we working on right now?
Our focus at IT is to increase the digital experience, right? To make sure that people can get access to their data as expected, so they can do their tasks, whether it's the public and our staff. So our focus has been a couple of things. Some major projects include the replacement of our ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning. That's the key system that the organization has. It's responsible for all financial processing, all payroll processing, as well as HR activities, as well as we're upgrading our network infrastructure. So no different than the water mains below the streets, as it makes the flow of water, is that this network infrastructure maintains and controls the flow of data. As we know, with more increased demand on digital services, that we need to make sure that the data flow that we have is both stable and scalable. And then in addition to that, we're always investing in cybersecurity. Right, we need to make sure that all our services, all the data that we have is secure, and that we've made investments in terms of finding a partner that provides 24/7, 365 threat monitoring, detection, and response. So we have a bit of a guardian angel, which is incredibly helpful and valuable.
So we can sleep better at night.
We can, but we definitely can't rest on our laurels because the pace of technology is incredibly quick. So we need to come up to speed with technology such as AI and how AI is applied to cybersecurity so that we can roll it out to the organization to find productivity gains, but we can roll it out deliberately and with caution to make sure that we're not exposing the organization to any other risk.
We're sitting in one of the City of Nanaimo's garbage trucks with David Thompson. David, tell me a little bit about service levels.
Well, we're out every day collecting garbage, recyclables, and organics from over 32,000 residents across the City of Nanaimo. Costs us about $2 million a year in tipping fees to do that work.
And with these trucks being on the road 5 days a week, I'm assuming they age, and are some new trucks coming to the city?
We're sitting in one of our oldest trucks, and yes, we've got 3 new trucks arriving in 2026, 2 that we're purchasing and 1 that we're leasing. We're going to try out a different ownership model and see if we can reduce our ownership and maintenance costs.
We're here with Laura Mercer, the General Manager for Corporate Services for the City of Nanaimo, and we're talking about budget. This is a big part of your department, and so let's talk about the budgetary process for the city.
So there's 3 main components that go into creating the 5-year financial plan, and the first is operating budgets. So every year, staff build their budgets from scratch. So the city uses what's called a modified zero-based budgeting approach, and this is where we take wages and benefits that are outlined in the collective agreement, along with internal fleet and computer charges. And then every other line in the budget, so utilities, contracted services, etc., start at 0, and they're built up based on need. And the second component is project plans. So the majority of projects are a result of the 20-year investment plan. And these are informed by our asset management plans. And these identify projects that need upgrading or replacement. And then items such as the DCC bylaws or strategic plans like the city plan identify projects that need to be included as well. And then of course every year we have unexpected projects that pop up for inclusion. So these are all combined into a 10-year project plan, and then the first 5 years of that plan are included into the financial plan.
Okay, and so you've mentioned the first 2 components, and for the third one, my understanding is it's about business cases. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So business cases are developed when a request for a new service or a new resource, which is staffing, or things like that, are being requested. And so the business cases identify the need and the costs associated with it, and then council reviews those for inclusion, if any, into the financial plan. And so those 3 components combined create the 5-year financial plan.
Now, in terms of business cases, there's some things that some people may not know about in terms of budget, and some of that is about, again, staffing. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So, for example, we have 4 new RCMP officers included in the 2026 budget. Now, this came from an inclusion in 2025 that added 4 officers per year for 3 years.
We're here with Shannon Moore, the City of Nanaimo's Senior Community Safety Officer, and we're in one of the CSO trucks right now. So Shannon, let's talk a little bit about CSOs. How many do we have as a city?
Currently, we are a team of 17, and that includes 2 supervisors. So we currently have 1 vacancy that we're actively working to fill for this year under this current budget. We work 7 days a week. We start 7 a.m. and we work till 11. Starting in January, though, our hours are going to push out a little further. We are going to start at 6:30 in the morning and go through till 1 a.m.
Oh, wow. Okay, so extended hours. Now, is there a plan to add more CSOs in the future?
Yes, so we actually have funding currently for 1 additional for the 2025 year. And next year we've been budgeted to hire an additional 4. So that would expand our full team to 20 with an additional 2 senior supervisors, myself and Barry Hornby.
You've definitely made a positive impact. I think there's been a change, and having CSOs as boots on the ground supporting the downtown area in the city of Nanaimo has been really important. And this is not something that was on the budget just a few years ago, correct?
Correct. This is a new program to the city. Originally, both parking and general duty bylaw were responding to the social disorder of the downtown, and that was pulling away from their duties that they were hired to do. Together with the downtown businesses, they came up with a community action plan to address the issue, and that was where the CSO program came out of.
Now, if someone is interested in learning more about the budget or wanting to get in contact with someone with the city if they have some questions, what can they do?
All of our budget information is on the website, but every year we have a number of budget sessions that people can attend, the public can attend. And as well, we do an e-town hall meeting at a council meeting, and you can ask questions in person or submit them online.
So it sounds like there's ways that people can follow along. That's fantastic. The City of Nanaimo budget is about so much more than numbers. We're investing in infrastructure that keeps us connected, recreation opportunities that bring people together, services that you can count on, and the reshaping and beautification of our public spaces. Nanaimo is a city ready for today and a thriving tomorrow. Learn more about the city budget at www.nanaimo.ca/go-to/budget.